Well. Good evening. You would see my drink is empty. Let's see who turns up this evening. Well, I'm feeling a little down in the dumps. Good evening, Resla. You are very quick this evening. I have only been much alive but a minute, and here you are. Good evening. How are you doing? I just started the stream and already killed a can. Yep. You know me. It's only Dr. Pepper. Yeah, killed a can already. You know me. Good evening, Resla. How are we this evening? So I don't know who will turn up because honestly, I hadn't really planned to go live. If I'm entirely honest, I hadn't planned anything. Excuse me. I just thought I would go live. I was feeling a bit down, and I know that live streaming generally cheers me up. So I thought I would live stream. Feeling a little bit down today. Not gonna lie. I don't know if it's the weather, my mood. You may also hear that my COVID has finally subsided. I can breathe. I can talk. I'm not having any more wheezing in my chest. I don't have a persistent cough. And as you can hear, my throat has somewhat improved. It's not 100%, but it's getting there. I'm doing peachy, and sorry you're feeling that down, but I hope we can make you feel better. Well, thank you, Resla. I don't know. The last couple of days, I had COVID. I've had a relative die. I kind of feel low. I don't know. It's like this aura around me. No more Raven COVID. No. I've had COVID twice now. I don't fancy having it anymore. Twice was enough. I had COVID last February, and I've had COVID this April. So I don't fancy it anymore. No, I wouldn't recommend it. If you haven't had COVID, wouldn't recommend it to anybody. You can still hear my throat on occasion gives out. And I am finding myself a little bit more wheezy at work when doing the deliveries. But that should subside. I don't know. I just don't feel myself. I can't explain it. I don't know whether it's COVID that's lowered my mood, whether it's having a relative pass that's dampened my not my spirit per se, but my overall feelings right now. I don't know whether I'm maybe just overwhelmed by stuff. I've had a job promotion recently. I caught COVID. I had a relative die. I had my best friend die. My son's having a child. Maybe I've just got too much on my plate. And it all becomes a bit overwhelming. Maybe I'm finding things a little intense. You know, I'm trying to train at work to be a key holder and get my training done. I'm trying to help my son who's trying to get ready for a child due in August. I'm trying to help my youngest get his work placement sorted for year 10. I'm doing stuff for everybody. And then obviously I had my friends die. My uncle is being buried on the 28th of this month. So maybe it's just all too much at once. decrease your positivity. Yeah, all that will definitely do that. Yeah, I think maybe I put a lot on myself to be available for people, in respect of being available to help people, to constantly be around if someone needs something, if they need help. And maybe, just maybe, I put too much on myself. Good evening, Eddie. Maybe sometimes, I guess, less is more. Maybe I need to, I guess, try and not be so hard on myself, maybe, because I take a lot on. One of my work colleagues the other day said she envied how I cope with stuff, having one thing after another happen to me, and then something else bad happens, and instead of crumbling, I'm positive, determined, and strong, and I don't let anything necessarily affect me. And then I just move on to the next thing. And I always try and be that pillar of strength for people. Like if somebody needs something, or if somebody needs help with something, I'm there in a heartbeat. I'm asking, how can I help you? What do you need? What do you need sorting? You need a holiday. Maybe I do. I've had COVID and I had a week off work, but that wasn't what you call a holiday. Although I didn't have to think about work for a week. So that did alleviate some of, I guess you could say, having too much on my plate. Evening, Jess. How are you? Much love to all of you. Maybe, I don't know. I do pressure myself to fix things, to be the fixer in things, to be the helper, to be the support, to be the voice of reason, to be the instigator, the fixer, the problem solver. Jesus Christ. You could put an umbrella term over what I do and help people. I help people in a lot of ways, whether it's tidying, financially, moral support, advice. And I guess you could say I push myself to be that person that can help somebody else. If someone comes to me and says, you know, Raven, this is going on, that is going on, this has happened, usually I'm the person people come to. I've built this kind of personality that I have, where if there's a problem, a situation, something needs solving, something needs fixing, someone needs help, they know that they can come to me. I'll help them, I'll sort them out, I'll find a way of fixing things. If there isn't a way of fixing it, I will make a way, I will find a way. And that kind of pressure can bring you to a point where you're just like, look, I just can't fix everything. And you're not expected to, but because I've put myself so high up on this little pedestal of, I can fix things, I can do this, I can do that, and I can do the other, all at the same time, you do it so you put yourself in a position where you feel that you have to help somebody, you have to have the solution, you have to be able to fix things. And I think maybe, just maybe, I might pressure myself a bit too much to be that person. But the flip side is that when I need somebody and I'm feeling down, or I need a situation fixed, or I need advice, there's never anybody around. I feel stuck and in limbo, and I guess unappreciated. And these are feelings that I've had for years, that I've always had people's backs and I always give them advice and I'm always there for them, but it's never kind of reciprocated. And sometimes you feel, well, why do I even bother? But then you remind yourself of is that these people come to you for advice and support because they trust you, they value your opinion, they know you can fix situations, and whether that is good or bad, you feel kind of indebted to supporting them no matter what and helping them, even if you knew on the flip side that if you were in trouble or you needed advice or you needed something, that they'd be there for you. Could you guarantee that person would do the same? Probably not. But I'm too nice a person to then not help that person. That's probably a really bad trait of mine, and I should probably sort myself out. So I put a lot of weight onto, not physically, because I mean, look at this. But I put a lot onto myself, day in, day out, morning, noon, and night. I'm constant support for some people, whether it's emotionally, financially, I wouldn't say spiritually, because I don't have that kind of thing. Sounds like a medieval moderator, Raven the Fixer. It does. I kind of put myself into this little, I don't know if you want to call it a bubble or a square or a situation where this feels, you kind of feel trapped. That's how I feel. I feel trapped in this never-ending cycle of being there for people, helping people, and then it never being reciprocated the other way. So I put my heart and soul out there to help, be there for people, fix things, give advice. I'm a listening ear. I'm your confidant. I'm your social worker, your health advisor, your spiritual guru, if you want to call it that. I'm there for most people throughout whatever their situation is. If you come to me and you've got a financial problem, I'll see if I can help you financially. If you've got a problem containing to work, say you're being bullied, I'll try and give you advice. If you come to me with a situation of home life, whether it's troublesome kids, troublesome partners, troublesome family, I'll try and give you advice. I'll try and help you. I'll try and find a solution to your problem. And that's my problem, because I'm not a counselor. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not a divorce lawyer. I'm not a confidant. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not, the local helper for everything. But I put myself in this tight little nook of being a person that can fix, sort everything. And I put it all on myself, which is probably a bad thing to do. Pressuring yourself too much to be everything everybody else wants, it's draining. It's tiresome. You feel a lot of feelings like unappreciated. You don't feel like whatever you give is given back to you. And I'm not asking if I help someone financially to expect it back or to expect them to offer me money when I'm struggling, or I don't expect them to just willy-nilly offer advice. But at some point, you do expect things in return from the people that you help, whether it's a listening ear when you're having a problem, or maybe a bit of friendly advice when you're having a bad day, or that pick me up when you need it. I don't have many friends like that in my life anymore. I did have friends back in the day that were there in a heartbeat. And it was kind of reciprocated, help for help, advice for advice. And over the years, it became less. People are just not so helpful and giving these days. I don't know if it's just me that thinks that, but I do find that a lot of people are not as helpful or generous, whether it comes to money, time, appreciation for what other people do for people. I think sometimes that some people are too comfortable. Like if you help somebody, they had a bad day, they phoned you up and they're like, look, I'm having this problem, and you helped them and you tried to find a way of sorting their problem, and then you fell off a couple of weeks later and you called them and they just don't have time for you. They're like, oh, you'll be fine, just suck it up kind of thing. They don't have time for you. That's the kind of non-reciprocated help that's kind of the norm these days. Some people want but never give. And then when you expect something back, even the smallest thing to them is like, oh, you'll be fine, like they just don't have time for you. And I know that's not every friend, and I'm not suggesting that that's like a universal thing, that people just, don't care about you, or they don't want to help you, or they're not interested in your problems. I think that's a society that we're put into now, that things like counselors and therapists and stuff are more prominent for people rather than just talking to your friends and family. Everything in this day and age, whether you like to admit it or not, can be fixed with money. Whatever your problem is, throw some money at it. If you've got a problem at home, I'm sure it can be fixed with some money. If you've got problems at work, I'm sure money is probably the root of the problem. Everything can be fixed with money, or a therapist or a counselor. Now, I never been interested in counseling or therapy or anything like that, because I think it's kind of mumbo jumbo, really. But people use me as a counselor, a therapist, a financial advisor, the go-between. If someone's having a Barney, I will put myself in the middle of that to try and defuse the situation. I do the things in my life like that. I've done it at work like that, where I've got in the middle of two people who are having a Barney, and I've seriously been like, look, this is just stupid at this point. You don't get on, just move the fuck on. But I then find that situations like that are not reciprocated. Like if I was having a bad time, or I needed help, or I needed advice, it's never reciprocated. Hey, Dragon, thank you for the hug. People nowadays are all give. I give my heart and soul to people, whether it's time, money, advice, and help, and it's never reciprocated towards me. People don't just turn around and offer help or money or advice or anything like that. Nowadays, if you can't fix your problem yourself, you're basically stuck. I forget who said this, but the struggle you're in today is developing the strength you need tomorrow. It is very very philosophical there, Resla. But my friend at work had said to me that she envied me on how I can have so much thrown at me and still come out the other end. smiling, happy, positive. And I kind of thought to myself, am I though? Am I? After all I've been through this year so far, if you put it into perspective, the last 6 months, I'd been bullied at work for 9 months, and the lady has left and gone on to different jobs. I have had COVID again. I have lost 2 friends, a best friend and a relative, both through horrible circumstances. Both were deaths we didn't expect. And I've been thrown stuff at work. I'm now training to be a key holder. No one is perfect. That's why pencils have erasers. Well, that is a beautiful saying there. And I think at this point in time, good evening, Joe Buddy. I think at this point in time, I am putting a lot on my plate. A lot. And like my friend said, she envies me on how I cope with stuff. Let me see what her exact words were. I'm not going to show you the message, but I'm going to read what she said. So her exact words were, that is awful, Donna, especially when you've been through so much already this year. I envy how well you deal with it. I hope you're okay. And that was a friend from work. When I found out that I had COVID the same day that my relative had died, and that at that point I was sick as a dog, I couldn't do anything. Then I found out my uncle died. It was all in the same day. I'd contacted work. I was then having to have a week off. I was then having to try and contact my immediate family to find out about my uncle's passing. He died from cancer, and he deteriorated very quickly. And I had that all in the same day. And then we had to cover my shifts from work. I was trying to sort my uncle's passing, contact my family and everything. And I did that all in one day. And I kind of forgot about the fact that, hey, look, you got COVID, you're sick, you can't work, your relatives died. And I think I just became so overwhelmed all at once. And then I'm dealing with trying to train at work. I'm dealing with trying to have a grandchild that's due, and I'm trying to do stuff for that. Then my YouTube channel got demonetized last month, and I was trying to sort getting that back. And then I've spent the last week getting my channel back up and running, getting my videos back up and running, being remonetized so I can earn some money. And I was trying to do that, trying to do work, having COVID, having my uncle die. And I was trying to do all of this at the same time. And at some point, I kind of just sat there and thought, what about me? What about me? Am I being selfish? Like, why is all of this happening to me? Like, why can't somebody else be having this? And I guarantee you, there is somebody in the world having a worse day than me. But at that point, I felt like everything was on top of me. I was trying to cope with work, home life, being sick, a death, a grandchild coming. I was trying to deal with everything all in the same week, and I became incredibly overwhelmed. And when my friend at work said she envied me for how I cope, I honestly kind of felt I don't know how I cope. I've always had a determined streak. Like, if something needs doing, we're getting it done. I don't know how, when, the outcome, but we're doing it. And I have that mentality at work. When given a job, we're doing it. This is how we're doing it. This is how it's done. This is the time. That's my life. That's how I get to that point. What is that, Joe Buddy? What about me? It isn't fair. You just reminded me of this awesome song from 1982. What is that? What about me? It isn't fair. Oh, Thank you for that, Joe. Let me just go to my channel so I can find out what exactly it is you're sharing. Because Joe has a wrench. I know. Unbelievable, isn't it? How does everybody else cope with stuff? Is it just me, or am I just a person that puts too much on myself? Is that me, or am I missing something? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I put too much on myself, and maybe I don't have to. Maybe I don't have to. Someone trusted me. I know. Shocking. You'll have to put that down in the Guinness World Records for that. Let's have a look at this thing. I need to get onto my live stream. Hang on. I'm a very poor YouTuber, Joe. You know this. I trusted you. It's the music video for the song. Let me see if I can see what the song is. Smoke a doobie and relax. I don't have a doobie. Oh, I see. That's a very cool song. Eddie, come to think of it, I don't know too many potheads that get stressed out. No, I don't have any weed. The other side of life. Thank you for the dancing emojis. Good evening, Katie. Hey. But yeah, it was a really sweet message. 5 minutes till I finish my shift, and I've just been shot on. Oh, I'm trying to be by an 80-year-old. By the way, I'm a carer, if you didn't know. Yeah, she doesn't generally go around following 80-year-old women who defecate on her. 420. But thank you, Katie, for that interesting story. Yeah, she doesn't generally follow 80-year-olds around, but being a carer is no easy stint, I tell you. I've done it myself, and believe me, an 80-year-old defecating, there's some things you can't unsee. But the point of this stream, apart from me feeling low, remember, if you want to thumbs it up, that would be amazing. And if you want to support the channel with a donation, a super chat, a PayPal, or become a member, it's 99 pence a month. Why aren't you already a member? Honestly, some people. But aside from all of that, her message of, are you all right? Yeah, I'm all right. I think things have just got a bit on top of me. I'm just trying to do too much all at the same time, and I kind of feel overwhelmed. At least it happened at the end of your shift, not at the beginning. That is a good point. Being shat on at the end of your shift has got to be better than being shat on and going your entire shift smelling of it. Nothing worse than an 80-year-old who, I can tell you. Yeah, I think at the minute you know me, Katie. I've always put a lot on me. It's been a very messy shift altogether. Ew. No, that sounds messy. Ugh. I've always put a lot on my back, whether it's work, home, life, YouTube, and I kind of just felt low today. Like maybe I've done quite a lot in the last week. My entire week from last Monday was I was sick on Monday with what I believe was the flu. I started off with the flu, supposedly. Then it turned into COVID. Then my uncle died Tuesday morning, and I found out Tuesday afternoon. Then I had to take 4 days off of work, unpaid. Then when I went back to work, I was then told that I'm opening the store on the 7th of May, single-handedly, that I was going to be training for the next 3 weeks to then open the store. There's then problems going on at work with members of staff. And I'm just walking all into this, I was then told today that my son's work placement may not be happening, which I'm trying to rectify. I then spent the last couple of days being there for other people who, if it was the opposite way around, I'm not sure they would be there for me, but that's another story. Then I'm trying to sort money for the grandchild. I'm trying to make money on YouTube. And I think I've put too much on myself. Can't remember if I told you, but we are checking in for Haven at 1 p.m. I think you said you were checking in early. I'm working the Monday, but I've got the key anyway, obviously. But good thing is, Katie, that if for some reason Talon's work placement doesn't work out, I got Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday off. So if it doesn't work out and he doesn't go on his work placement, then I can come to Yarmouth Tuesday or Wednesday and hang out. So all good for me. But I'm trying to get his work placement sorted, and it's just giving me a headache. But if it doesn't happen, I'll just come to Yarmouth Tuesday and Wednesday, and I'll just come down there. I'll just come down there for a day and stay over in a hotel or a B&B or something. Also, the government are meant to be giving me £301 between the 25th and something of May. So I'm going to have another £300 from the government to probably help me go away, because I need a break. If I don't get a holiday soon, I might go mad. Because I put a lot on myself to be perfect, to be this, that, and the other. And I put so much effort into helping people, and I am constantly being told, why? Why do you put so much on yourself? Maybe you should give yourself a break. You don't have to be perfect all the time. You don't have to help people all the time. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. And unfortunately, that's not me. But like my friend said, when she said she envied me on how I cope, and I kind of sat there and thought, but do I really cope? Is it like a mask that I wear, that I'm coping on the outside, and then in the evenings, I'm panicking, I'm worrying, maybe crying myself to sleep on occasion, beating myself up that I'm not perfect and that maybe I'm not coping as well as I should. I've never seen a therapist or a counselor for obvious reasons, that I do not believe that I need help, but I do believe that sometimes I do need to cancel myself by giving myself, i.e., a break, or by giving myself a little bit of time to get to grips with one thing before doing another. But in this day and age, you are thrown so many things to cope with at once. Like I said, I had the week from hell. I would call it the week from hell, trying to deal with the death and COVID, and trying to deal with the fact I then couldn't work, have my shifts covered. Then we had the family coming at the weekend. I was trying to get negative from COVID so I could go. I was putting so much pressure on myself to be fit and healthy and well and everything. And now I'm just overwhelmed and I guess exhausted. I'm now trying to train at work to open the store and to be a key holder and to be that member of staff that my boss and everybody need. And I feel a bit overwhelmed. And then I'm trying to help with my own family life, my own home life. I'm trying to sort my own bills. I'm trying to do 100 things at once. And as anybody will tell you, you come to a point where you burn yourself out. You cannot continue at that speed and that rate and be as positive as everybody wants me to be, and to be the fixer of all things, and to be able to sort things out and always be there for people. And then the one person you forget in all of this is yourself, which is where you then leave yourself open to problems. Oh no, we can't have Raven going mad, otherwise we will hear a story about a crazy lady fling spotted dick the food and strangers near the pub. What is Dragon, what have you been smoking this evening? What? I'm going slightly mad. I'm not going mad. I just feel that maybe I put a lot on myself. But I do feel that the amount I put on myself is only put on myself because other people are flinging spotted dick at strangers. That's nothing I've ever done before, but you know, there's always a first. So much for PG. I'm demonetized now. I don't know. I find it hard to not be the person that people turn to. Like, if someone is struggling financially and they've got a bill to pay and they're short, they'll come to me, they'll ask for money, I'll give it to them, usually no questions asked. If people need advice about something, maybe a family thing, a work thing, they'll come to me advice, I'll give them advice. If, you know, someone has a problem that needs solving, I will try and find the answer or find a way around it or try and fix them. And I think that by helping everybody else, I always forget about myself, and I'm the one at the end of the day that ends up with no money or second guessing myself, because when I need advice, there's no one to turn to. Or if I ever need help, I don't feel right asking other people. Have you ever felt like you can't ask somebody for help because you're meant to have your shit together? And that if you ask somebody for help, it's a weakness, or you're showing that you're vulnerable. And I'm not that person. I'm the person that fixes stuff. I'm the person that helps other people. I'm not the person that needs help. I'm not the person that needs advice. I don't need fixing. Do you see how I guilt myself into being, well, you don't need help. Why would you need advice? You're the one that's got your shit together. You know, I'm the giver. I'm the person that gives advice. I'm the one that gives my time, money, effort to somebody else. Oh, Raven, I think you need to wife up. Hey, Dragon. Oh, Dragon. A $50 super chat. This isn't a sob story for money, just in case anybody is wondering. I'm not here to get money from my sob story of a life, because if I was, I'd write a book on it. I already have 4 books with my name in it. If you didn't know, there are 4 books about my life story, and if you want to read them, you can actually buy them on Amazon. You should get that spotting checked out. Could be deck rot. Nothing worse for wood than advanced deck rot. Good evening, Jack. Who knew that a few crazy men in my chat could put a smile on my face? But in all fairness, are you serious about? Yes. There's a book series that was written about me on Amazon. Let me see if I can find it and I'll show it to you. Yeah, I've had 4 books written featuring a character called Raven that's written after me. Let me see if I can find it on Amazon and then I can show you. It's by an author called Christopher Blythe Bartram, ESP, if you have a large extended deck. Where would I be without my 3 men, Dragon, Joe, and Jack? All we need is Gordo here, and we have the Fantastic Four. Let me see if I can find the book series on there. Oh, I can't even spell. I know it's hard, isn't it? Ooh, let me see if I can find it. Yep. There you go. See, she knows 3, she knows 2, she knows the original, she knows her revenge. They are all books written by Christopher Blythe Bartram, and they feature excerpts from my life, including my sisters, my dad, and experiences I've actually had. They were written by a childhood ex-boyfriend. And they're available as audiobooks with a free trial on Thingy. Yeah, look. I even have copies of the books that I own that are actually in my bedroom. I have copies of them. I don't know if I've ever done a video on them. But yeah, they are written by Christopher Blythe Bartram. They're on Amazon, and these are written with a character called Raven, and Raven is written about me. I am the character Raven. Christopher Blythe Bartram was an ex of mine when I was in high school, and he took it upon himself to write 4 books with me in it as a character. My sisters feature in it. At one point, my parents feature in it. Friends from high school feature in it. And the book itself, I actually did get royalties from it. I made some good money from each of the books. I haven't spoken to the author in a good 3 years. But yeah, I have 4 books, as you can see, written about me. I have copies of them. I have posters that were put into stores. I have the music discs from the musical score from the audio books. I'll have to do a video on it and show you everything. So I can promote myself slightly. But it was written by Christopher Blythe Bartram. Good evening, Gemma. How are you doing? But yeah, I have books written about me and my character Raven. Some of it features my childhood. It features the wreck where we used to live. It features my hometown where I used to live. The story is a little bit loose in places on what was actually true and what wasn't true. The author did embellish slightly. But yeah, the books are written about me, and I have them in the bedroom. I have posters. I have musical discs from it. I have lots. So if anybody's interested, I could do an entire video on those books. I'm doing okay. I'm wanting to do my own poetry book. Ooh, well, that's cool. You've got to keep those hardwood well oiled, or they'll wrap and sag and become infested with bugs. No one enjoys a deck ripe for bug infestation. What are you on, Jack? Again, thank you, Dragon, for the $50 super chat, which now comes in a separate section. I've just noticed that. On StreamYards, Super chats used to feature within the live stream and they take up a massive space. And now there's a separate super chat bar so that you can never miss a super chat now, which is brilliant because I'm forever missing them because they'd be in with the chat. And once the chat goes up, you lose it. So there's an entire super chat bar. StreamYards is amazing. I know Coach Eli wanted to sue StreamYards for stealing his intellectual property. But StreamYard is actually a really good service because I can live stream, I can add people to the stream, I can see my super chats, I can change the background. And he wanted to sue them for stealing his intellectual property. Well, they're not stealing much, are they? If anybody did watch Eli's stream the other night, dear God, I hate to go on about Eli, but have you ever been bored for 3 hours? Because we managed 20 minutes last night and then I was bored to tears. His live stream about insurance, dear Jesus. If he was that enthusiastic about DoorDash insurance, think about how enthusiastic he was when he was an insurance salesman. Holy fuck, he must have been excited. How are you, Raven? I'm overwhelmed. I think I've given myself too much to do, to learn, to cope with all at once. And I'm feeling slightly overwhelmed, I must admit. I'm feeling overwhelmed and maybe I've stretched myself too far. Eli streamed about how to be a quitter. Or I learned I need more car insurance and I won't switch carriers. Well, boy, you must have enjoyed that. I understand overwhelmed. Yeah, I feel overwhelmed. I feel at the minute with work, home, life, YouTube, the world, I'm overwhelmed. It's not a good place to be in. It isn't. And believe me, if I could turn a switch and do it so my home life, my YouTube life, my work life, and people in my life would stop dying, life would be so much easier because I wouldn't keep feeling so much pressure to be me. Coach Eli wants to sue me because he's envious of my deck. His deck is small. It's barely functioning as a deck. Even his mother has a bigger deck than Eli. But they do say he wasn't born with a full deck. Oh my God. Oh my God, Jack. Honestly, you are... Oh, I don't know what to say. He wasn't born with a full deck. Although I do believe he is the Joker of the pack. He's practically deckless. Well, Jack, I must say that between your jokes, Dragon's donation, and Joe Buddy's quick-wittedness, you're all putting a smile on my face. And Gemma, as always, being supportive. Yeah, things haven't been great, I must admit. Things haven't been easy recently. Is it too much to ask for things just to be easier? Like work to be easier, life to be easier, people not to die on me. Just, you know, I'm still coping with the last person that died in my life and now having somebody else and then trying to train at work, trying to be a support network for my son having a child. I'm trying to support my youngest who's trying to do a work placement in the coming months. I'm trying to do everything. I'm trying to sort out my bills, which I am behind on because I had COVID. I had to take time off work, which now means I'm behind on my bills, which is always good. Yes, I tried to be supportive. I understand what grief is. I understand grief. I understand it. I just don't necessarily want it. I'm over people dying. Let's cut this situation with a knife. I've lost 4 people in the last year. My best friend dying, it cut right to my soul. I was in bits for weeks. I put my hands up and I admit I was in bits for weeks. I hear a song that reminds me of him, I will blubber like a bitch. I will spend the evening crying. And now that I've lost my uncle, he is being buried on the 28th of April. He's being buried at Windham Abbey, which is a beautiful church. And then his ceremony is at Windham Abbey. And then he's being buried in the cemetery in the same place that his mum is buried and in the same place that his dad is buried. It's a beautiful cemetery. It's covered by trees. It's like a goth's dream for a cemetery. And Windham Abbey is the most picturesque church you will ever see. What's up, Duck? Good evening, Green Hazard. Welcome to my shit show of a stream. I'm just doing a bit of a overwhelming stream, a bit of a feeling low stream, a bit of feeling like things are just getting too much for me. Just too much for me. It's all a bit much with life and work and home life. And Percy's funeral is the 28th of April, which I was messaged earlier by his sister to say that the funeral was on a day that I am actually off work, and that it's actually a day, if I really pushed myself to go to, I could go to it. It's the 28th of April, which is a day I am currently not working, and it keeps playing on my mind on whether to. I don't know. I haven't replied to Serena as of yet, but she did message me. She did message me earlier. I don't want to dox her, but she did message me earlier saying Percy's funeral is 10 a.m. Friday and it's at Windham Abbey, which is a beautiful church, mind you. And then the actual burial is at the cemetery. Eli's deck is so useless that lady has to go to the neighbour's house and use their massive black oak deck just to have a couple of rounds of darts. But we all know what they say about dark wood decks. Oh dear, Jack. I don't know. I mean, I should go to be supportive, but there's the other side of me that says no. That last comment was a Mortal Kombat finishing move. Like, finish him. I honestly don't know. As a supportive family member, I should probably go. But then there's the other side of me that doesn't want to go. It's hard. I haven't replied to her. She actually sent that to me yesterday, and I still haven't replied because I currently don't have an answer. I currently don't have an answer for her. So I've kind of aired the message, which is probably a bad thing. But the funeral itself is at Windham Abbey, and the burial is at the cemetery. And you know, the cemetery is a wonderful place, Kieran. You know as well as I do that I think it was Katie's McNeil, The cemetery itself is beautiful. Might have to show you a picture of the cemetery. It's a beautiful cemetery. It's a beautiful setting. He'll have an amazing send-off. Yeah, it says on Friday the 28th, my brother Percy will be taking his final journey. The service will be held at 10 a.m. at Wyndham Abbey, followed by a burial at St. Stations Cemetery. We welcome anyone attending the funeral wearing Liverpool shirts, the colour red, or music-related T-shirts. We ask for family flowers only. If anyone would like to make a donation, they can make a donation through Bartram's funeral directors. So the funeral itself, let me just show you a picture of Wyndham Abbey, because Wyndham Abbey is such a picturesque church. We got this thing about death. It's not us, John Candy from Spaceballs and Raven in her live stream today. Oh, I have a thing about death. I'm not scared of death necessarily myself. I just wish people would stop dying. I mean, it's a little thing to ask, isn't it? The thing about death is not asked. Yeah. The church itself, let me show you. This is Wyndham Abbey. This is the church that the funeral is in. This is Wyndham Abbey. It's a beautiful church. The inside of this church is stunning. Let me just show you the inside. This is where his funeral is. It is the most beautiful church that you will see. And there's the altar and all that. It's a beautiful church. It invokes some very it's very picturesque. And then the cemetery, Station Cemetery, again, it's a beautiful cemetery. I know you're gonna say, how can a cemetery be beautiful? It can. There are beautiful cemeteries out there, whether you like to think of a cemetery as beautiful. I think the cemetery is beautiful. It looks like this. It's a very picturesque cemetery. They have a little chapel right in the middle of the cemetery, as you can see there. And it's all surrounded by trees and everything. And his mum and dad are buried there as well, Hannah and Percy, or Percy Sr. They're both buried there. Hannah and Percy are buried in the same grave. They're buried one on top of each other. So he'll obviously be buried in the same cemetery as his parents. Erectile wins, flawless, dictory, dectality, continue. Oh, Jack, you got me there. But it would, Raven, you will regret it if you don't go say your goodbye. I mean, I didn't go to Adam's funeral because I honestly couldn't face going, and I couldn't get off work to go to his funeral. But Percy was a family member. I hadn't seen Percy in, probably haven't seen him in 15 years. But I know he was taken ill. I know he went into a care home. I know he became unwell. And I know he deteriorated. And I know he died from cancer, which is a horrific way to go. Adam died, from what I can gather, peacefully. And Percy went the same way, which is the best thing I can wish for anybody, is to pass peacefully. I don't know. I just feel right now that things are just too much. That I'm just... Bath is not in here, Bucko. This is Mercedes. No, that's not my name, Bath. Is that what the dog was called in Spaceballs? Is that Bath? Was he called Bath? I haven't seen Spaceballs in years. I I don't know. I kind of feel overwhelmed. I kind of feel things have just got, pardon the pun, in top of me. But I want to reiterate again to Dragon for the $50 super chat. It's much appreciated. It's not expected anybody to donate. This isn't a sob story to get money. Never feel pressured that I'm sob storing you for money. This is the way that I pour my heart out to people because I live alone. I live alone. There's no one here. If I'm having a bad day or things have got on top of me, there's no one here to talk to confide in, to ask for advice. So I turn to you guys, not for my emotional support, not my financial support, nothing like that. This is a way of talking my feelings. What's your name, Bath? Your full name? Bath Follow Mew. Oh, Bath Follow Mew. I've got to go and see my nan in the care home on Monday. My mum is meeting me there. The care staff are going to talk to me. Well, I'm glad you're going. I had said to you, Gemma, that although your mum didn't want you to go, that she obviously had your best interests at heart, because I do know that going to a care home or a dementia wing is very hard for somebody who has autism and has sensory problems and depth perception, not depth perception, not depth perception. I know what I'm talking about. Come on, Raven, get it together. Sensory, like the noises, the smells, the sounds can be overwhelming. Sensory perception sort of thing, like, you know, things can be a bit I know what I'm talking about. It's been a long day. But I got where your mother was coming from, of feeling concerned about you going there, but you do have to go see your nan at some point. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, it can be overwhelming. I've worked in a care home. I've worked in a dementia wing. I know exactly what it's like. I've lost people that I knew on the dementia wing. My nan had dementia and died from it. Dark Helmet, I told you to knock. Did you say anything, Colonel? Son, Des? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Ooh, I do like Spaceballs as a film you can re-watch, and it's funny no matter how many times you see it. But it's been a long time since I've seen Spaceballs. Maybe I need to watch a good feel-good movie to perk me up. And yes, I'm finally looking forward to hugging my nan. There is nothing like a good old squeeze and a hug, although I do have a thing about people hugging and touching me. Ugh. I don't know. It's a thing. People at my work are all huggy and touchy, and I don't know. I'm not really a huggy person unless I really have a connection with somebody. I'm not like all huggy. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just, you know, I'm sorry, lady. The thing has a mind of its own. John Candy, about the curse of the masculine Dale. You boys have been watching Spaceballs too often, although it is a classic, mind you. So aside from all my mamby-pamby life, I do appreciate the super chat from Dragon. This sob story of my poor, pathetic life, it isn't to get your money. I could sit here and ramble off my poor, pathetic life and get nothing because I don't expect anything. This isn't to get your money. So before someone like Coach Eli wants to jump on the bandwagon and go, oh, Raven's using her sob story for money. No, this is my life. This isn't a sob story. This is my daily life. This is how my life is right now. It's not a sob story to get money. It's not like Coach Eli making up, oh, I'm having a rough time. Oh, I'm short of money. Oh, Lady Baby's poorly. Oh, we're struggling. You're not fucking struggling. I'm struggling. I'm struggling trying to juggle a death, life, work, baby, YouTube, all at the same time. What do you have to do? Get up in the morning and do 3 hours door dashing every day? Oh, my heart bleeds for you, Eli. I could play quotes with the Prince Bride too, as you wish. So nothing I ever do on my channel is a sob story to get money. Let's clear this. What is it Eli calls it? Fluffer content, because I don't have any real content. I don't know if you've noticed, Eli, but my channel has been growing. Views, watch hours, donations. What is yours doing? Oh, that's right. Nothing. I understand that, Raven. I only hug people I feel safe or know well. Yeah, I do have like a space thing. I don't like anyone to come in my bubble. That sounds weird. Okay, change that. I don't like anyone to come too close in my personal space. That sounds better. Someone's gonna word that wrong and clip it probably. Yeah, no coming too close in my bubble. Space perception. I don't like people coming in my little space. When I go out and about in a shop, there's a square around me where I'm just like, no, too close, no. But everything I do in here is 100% real. I didn't just come on here and go, oh, you know what? I'm going to give them a sob story of how terrible my life is, and they're all going to open their wallets. This isn't what this is. Eli can believe that fluffer content is just for people who want money and don't have real content. Well, I have thousands of videos with content, and I did thousands of videos before I received a penny of donation. I've had sob stories of how terrible my life has been for 6 years. I've had 4 people die in the last year. I've had COVID twice. I was bullied at work for 9 months. All of that, real life shit that's happened to me. My life, if you want to portray it, is not one big fucking fairy tale. Life is hard, you struggle, you suffer, and you die. Hey, do you think you are? I'm the bearded lady. What are you? One of the freaks? Shove. Get back here, you fat bearded bitch. Well, thank you for that, Jack. I must admit, you are keeping me entertained. I do look a bit disheveled today. My hair, as much as I love giving it a bit of volume, it's kind of all over the place today. It needs to be tamed. I'm trying a new hair mask to give it that supple, shiny kind of look, and it's working. I just need to use it, I think, a bit more often, maybe once a week, because you can see it's got a shimmer. It is kind of shimmering. It's Mega Maid, sir. She's gone from suck to blow. Oh, and look who turns up. Going from suck to blow. Good evening, Gordo. Now we have the Fantastic Four. Gordo, Jack, Joe, and Dragon. The 4 aficionados of... speak of Gordo, exactly. The 4 aficionados of the Laugh A Lot stream. It's okay, Gordo. You've missed my sob story of my impending crappy life. That was in the first hour. Now we're trying to perk things up slightly from being sad and pathetic, like my life seems to be, to trying to be more cheerful. Jack's been quoting Spaceballs at me, and so has Joe, trying to perk me up. She needs a face mask, not a hair mask. Ooh. Oh, Gordo. Ooh. Don't make me take your wrench, Gordo. Raven is having life problems because she doesn't have a man. Now you're all caught up. Ouch. I don't need a fucking man. How dare you say that, Joe? Do not make me take both your wrenches. I don't need anybody but me. Don't let Joe fool you there. I don't need a man. Do you know, in fact, men are most of my problems. Everything in my life has been caused by a man. My best friend dying, he was a man. My uncle dying, he was a man. The being bullied at work, that was by a woman. Shit in my everyday life is usually caused by a man. There is a man in some part of it causing it. I do not need a man. What I need is I need men to just leave me alone. Just give me a wide berth when it comes to men. Men are the root of all my problems. If I had a man, he would probably be the root of my problem as well. Never go up against a Sicilian when death is on the line. Men are technically my problem. Obviously people like Dragon that donate me $50, he's not a problem. And anybody else that donates to my problem, you're not a problem, even if you're a man. We can look against that. I don't know if Dragon is still here, but he seems to have disappeared after donating $50. I hope he's okay. But your money will go to a good cause, possibly my counselling fund or therapy at this rate. From what you men have said, I am practically nuts or crazy. Maybe I'm both. Who knows? That is a question only I can answer, I guess. But it's good to see you here, Gordo. I haven't seen you in a while. I guess you've been gallivanting around in your, was it your fancy car that you have now? You've been gallivanting too much to come back and hang with us commoners. It's fine. I take a bus. You take a fancy Jag, is it? You know, we're on two separate planets right now. But I was bored. I felt a bit low, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to live stream for a bit. What's the worst that can happen? But Jack and Joe have cheered me up. I mean, look. You're nearly getting a smile. Tiny one, mind you. I drive a Jag. Yeah, I'm a snob. Yes, you're a snob. You're a major snob. You're a major snob who's never even donated to me, Gordon. And I've known you for 6 years. Where's that hard-earned money being thrust into my pocket? Because I work really hard. I do 4 days a week. I'm, as you said, a key holder, which you're not robbing my store. You never donated to me once, and I think you should. I think you should appreciate the snobbery that you're showing. Sorry, back still at work, but get out soon. Good for you, Jess. Leave that hellhole of a job that you have. I don't know what you do for a living, but I'm gonna guess it's probably menial. You're not probably paid very well, you know. Yeah. I luckily have a. Why do you think I drive a Jag? It's because I don't donate. Oh, that's cold. That's cold, Gordo. But I am a striving YouTuber. You know, I have bills to pay. I have needs and wants like any other person. I don't have a Jag. I take a bus. I eat cheap microwave food. You're probably eating caviar and salmon for tea. You should donate to me at some point, Gordo, as a sign of good faith. You know. Share your massive wealth with the poor people of society, i.e. myself. Truth bomb. Yeah, truth bomb there. Yeah. I don't know. Salmon is a staple food in the Pacific Northwest, is it? Well, I'm good for them. I can barely afford to put beans on toast, let alone salmon. Do you have salmon on toast? Is that a thing? Is salmon on toast a thing? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Andy, what? Can I join your stream? No, you cannot. Who are you? Who is Andy? Andy what? That's exactly who I want to know you are. Andy who, more like, not Andy what. Andy who? Staple as in being affordable. Salmon in the UK is a posh word for highly expensive. I know my work colleague used to say, "Oh, we're having salmon for tea tonight." And I used to be, "Yeah, and I'm having beans on toast." Nothing wrong with beans on toast, don't get me wrong. I don't even like salmon. I don't even know why posh people think eating salmon and caviar makes them great, because I see nothing special about eating fish eggs from a fish's butt. Sorry, don't see the excitement. Tuna is more expensive than salmon. It is kind of expensive now. But then again, everything's expensive now. No matter what you eat is expensive now. Even a block of cheese is ridiculous. I tried to get a block of cheese yesterday and I thought maybe I'll just have to gouge a kidney out. That did me no good, trying to buy cheese. I mean, I know back in the day, cheese was an expensive thing, and people like commoners could only afford stale bread and water, and cheese was a fancy thing that, posh people had, and wined and dined on cheese. But I like cheese, but it's expensive. And I like vintage cheese, high price vintage cheese. They're about $4.50 a block now where I shop. It's like ridiculous. It's like cheese is the same price as gold. I went to Kentucky Fried Chicken to get dinner for the family. I had to take out a second mortgage. Well, we have like every variety of them. Coho, pink, Chinook, king, sockeye, pink salmon is the best. But I only like the stuff if it's smoked. Oh, look, you're even posh in the way you eat it. Staple is in locally sourced food. Well, I couldn't afford salmon even if I liked fish. I'm not a big fish person. To be fair, I don't really like meat. We don't eat out of fast foods, too expensive. No. A third mortgage. No, over here in the UK, it is expensive to eat in a fast food restaurant. I mean, what's the average McDonald's meal now? About £7, is it? $7.50 for an average McDonald's meal? I don't know what that is in dollars. But an average UK meal in McDonald's is like $7.50. If you want a Chinese or an Indian takeaway, you're looking at least 30 or 40 pounds in English money. Having a trad wife and kids is expensive, that's for sure. It is. I mean, I don't live with my family now. Obviously, my eldest is living on with his girlfriend. They have their own place. My youngest is with his dad. I don't have necessarily dependents to depend on me for money, but even I can't afford to keep going to takeaways and having fancy dinners and fancy meals and fancy food. Even I can't afford that. And I work amazingly hard. I work so many hours a week, including YouTube, doing vintage stuff, working. I'm not into seafood. It's like eating from the world's collective toilet garbage disposal. Ew. Nice. I do my own stir fries. We had one the other night. Well, look at you, Chef Gordo. I eat out of a microwave packet. All my meals are microwavable and made for one. And they're cheap. They taste fucking horrible, but they're cheap. An average meal for me costs me 70 pence. I know, I'm a very cheap date. Someone tried to take me to a fancy restaurant, I'd be like, oh God, no. Now you know how Gordo can afford a Jag. Yeah, because he starves himself to death. He starves himself so he can have a Jag. Well, good for you, Gordo. I'm so happy, Chef. What do you get for 70 pence? Yeah, 70 pence is what I pay for my meals. My meals are generally 70p. Let me show you what I get for 70 pence. It's horrendous. Let me show you my favorite pasta microwave meal. Are you ready for this? This costs me 85 pence. This is what I get. That's my dinner. 85 pence. Look at that. 85 pence. Cheese and tomato pasta. I just eat at Joe's. We had KFC last night. He hasn't caught on that I replaced his daughter like 3 years ago, like a human version of a cuckoo bird. Where do you get your sense of humour, Jack? Oh my God, you're like a laugh a minute. You're like an absolute hoot, Jack. Absolute hoot. But you do know how to put a smile on my face, which helps. Yes. About 8. I usually spend between 70 and 80 pence on myself for my dinner. So, you know, an average week, I might spend £5 on my tea throughout the week, maybe a bit more. Some nights I don't even eat. Some nights I don't even have tea. I'm that poor. We had the exact same meal, only difference is I made ours from scratch. Well, that's okay because you're rich, Chef Gordo. You know, you're a chef, you're rich. You obviously shop at Waitrose, probably in your fancy Jag. You know, you probably dine with like gold encrusted, you know, cutlery, and you probably eat off like gold plates. I eat mine out of the microwave pack so I don't have to wash up. I cook it in the same thing and then I eat it from the same thing and then I don't have to wash up. I know, it's a great invention. And I pay 70 pence for it. So it's great for my pocket. So it's great for my pocket. It's a microwave meal. It's absolutely disgusting. It's very, very ungood for my health. But I don't have to wash up either. So it's a win-win for me. By the sounds of it, my dog eats better than you. Probably. Yeah, I would say so. I would say your dog eats better than me because if I didn't eat how I did, I wouldn't have the roof over my head because my bills are astronomical. For the amount I earn, I literally have nothing left. Wouldn't it be cheaper using dry pasta and a jar of sauce to make a large batch and then freezing most of it? It might be, but then that would take the effort of me cooking it rather than putting it in a microwave for 5 minutes. Where I get my sense of humor, I stole that from Joe too. That's why he lacks one. Oh, Jack. That's what we do, Joe. Okay. I'm being shunned now for my lack of cooking. To be fair, I spent my life cooking for my kids and my partner. And now I'm just at the point where I cannot afford to cook living on my own. I can't afford it. A 70 pence microwave meal is cheaper than me buying it, I guess. But if I batch cooked, maybe it would save me money. I don't know. Maybe it's just a lack of motivation. Maybe because I don't have to cook for my partner or have to cook for my family anymore, that I've just become a little bit lax. Dare I say it? Maybe I'm just a bit lax on the old motivation to do it. I mean, it's not like I don't have the figure. I mean, I don't necessarily have to worry about eating. It's not like I'm fat. I'd like to make a big pot of chili, for example, like a triple backs, and freeze most of it. Maybe I could look into whether it's more cost effective to batch cook than it is to have the separate meals. That is a possibility. I would say that as you can see, I don't necessarily look bad from eating microwave meals every day. I hate to say, but I actually look pretty good. I would say it's not done me I wouldn't say it's done me any harm eating microwave meals every day. I'd say I'm doing quite well. Other people might beg to differ and say that because you look fine on the outside, the inside is probably crying from it all. And it's possible that the insides don't like all the junk I'm eating. Possibility is it's probably crying on the inside from what I eat, but it's what I can afford. And if I can still look fit as I do, I guess it can't be doing me much harm. There is that. If I looked fat and unwell, maybe it would convince me that what I'm eating isn't good for me. But currently, my hair looks good. I look good. My body looks good. I'm not exactly fat. I mean, there's plenty of room in there. I don't see the harm it's doing to me. What has 2 hands and single-handedly caused Joe's 3rd mortgage? This guy. Oh, you do make like we do the same thing with spag bowl. We love our chili. I do ours. Oh, you have a slow cooker. I don't have a slow cooker or an air fryer. I don't have anything like that. I have a microwave and a toaster and an oven that I barely use because my grill shorts my electric out. So that's good. Just be glad I didn't use both hands. Is it better to look good than to feel good? Ooh, that's a question. Is it better to look good than to feel good? That is a good question because I look good. I defy you to tell me that I don't look good for the fact I eat microwave meals. You know, my skin is fine, my hair is fine, my body looks rocking, even though I do say so myself. But do I feel good on the inside? I mean, that's always a question, isn't it? What's it doing to the inside of me? That's always a good question. Just because I look healthy on the inside, is the food I'm eating good on the outside? I'm so fine, Raven. I do look fine. I'm like, oh yeah. I made a moussaka the other day. We got two each meals out of it. What's a moussaka? Am I like stupid? Do I not know what a moussaka is? What's a moussaka? You can tell I'm not Chef Gordo. Moussaka is an eggplant or potato-based dish, often including ground meat, which is common in the Balkan and Middle East. So is a moussaka kind of like a lasagna? Is moussaka like a lasagna? Is that what we're looking at? Or is it more like a cottage pie? It's a Greek version of a lasagna. Oh, okay. I was going to say cottage pie. Okay, a Greek version of a lasagna. Can't say I've ever had one. I love lasagna. Lasagna, pasta, pizza, anything Italian. I've never had a Greek. I've never had a moussaka. Okay. You're always teaching me something, Gordo, when it comes to food. You'll have to take some pictures of your lovely meals and stick it in my Discord. Stick your lovely meals that you cook, take a picture and stick it in my Discord. Discord is open to anybody that wants to join. Anyone that's, in for a good chat or a laugh a minute. Obviously, Gordo puts a lot of stuff in there. I put a lot of stuff in there. Bodacious does. Quite a few people use my Discord to either self-promote or to show off their jag. You know, either way. You substitute the pasta for aubergine and potato. Would you let the life coach in your Discord? God, no. He'd scare everybody away. He tried to life coach them all. Oh, no, I'd avoid Coach J-Rom like... I'd avoid Coach Eli, but I'd let Coach J-Rom in there. Coach J-Rom was an entirely different kettle of fish. Coach J-Rom would coach you about nutrition, food, and health. And Coach Eli would coach you how to be depressive, how to have a failing YouTube channel, how to have a failing existence. So, you know, if it's life coach J-Rom with his nutrition, his exercise, his well-being, fine. If it's Coach Eli, I think I would rather save myself the pain and trouble of having to be that depressed. I know I said J-Rom by accident. How could a grown male fail at making deliveries? Were you asked that question? Can you imagine Eli as your paper boy? I mean, his door dashing is like running the gauntlet. He doesn't currently take orders that are in dodgy areas. He doesn't take deliveries to anybody that doesn't tip. He doesn't take deliveries to rough places, coloured people. He won't deliver anywhere that's not accessible to him. They won't deliver to anywhere where it rains, that's up a hill, that's busy, that has multiple amounts of traffic. He basically cut the entirety of like California into like he won't deliver anywhere from a mile from his house. Raven just needs both hands to feel good inside and out. Trust me, I'm not a doctor. Oh, do I know, Jack? In my real estate career, I've probably made 1/3 of my income in shady area. There's nothing wrong with the shady area. I mean, it probably sounds wrong there. But yeah, I've been through his videos, minorities. I've been through his videos and he has the biggest list of where it rains. Well, he wouldn't like the UK down. It pisses down all the time here. Yeah, he just wouldn't DoorDash here. He couldn't make an income in the UK because it rains 90% of the time. So basically, he won't deliver to minorities. He won't deliver to a rough area. He won't deliver up a hill. He won't deliver to a non-tipper. He won't deliver to a millennial. He probably won't deliver to women. He won't go out if it's raining. He won't go out if it's things like Super Bowl or Valentine's because the orders just aren't good. He won't deliver your prescription or your dog stuff, and he won't deliver you anything that's age restricted, and that is just everything he won't deliver to. Currently, he said it himself, he also won't deliver if it's under $3 a mile. He won't deliver an order unless it's going to make him at least $10 profit, I think he said at one point. Why, he won't deliver up a hill? He won't deliver up a hill because it's a tight turn space to come back. He won't deliver in an area where there's too much traffic. He won't deliver on holidays because places put out these vouchers where they say if you order a bunch of flowers, you get like your delivery for free or a percentage off. So then he doesn't get a tip. Eli is scared to drive in the rain. This is like a Dr. Seuss book. I don't like green eggs and ham, and if it's the hill, I need $5 per mile, basically. Maybe he skidded once and had a bad wreck in his youth. Or maybe he's just fucking lazy. Could be that. I mean, if I decided that I wasn't going to work because it was raining in the UK, I'd never leave my house. If I decided I wasn't going to use public transport to get to work, I'd never leave the house or go to work. If I decided that I didn't like the people at my work, which are 90% children most of the time, I'd never get a job where I am. I'd change jobs. You see, there's this thing where it's called, if you're not happy in your job, then leave. Or if you're not paid well enough, there are other jobs to go to, you know. Maybe he's like Mr. Magoo driving. I guarantee you, he is probably the most nervous Nelly driver you'll ever meet. His work ethic is zero. His motivation is zero. His thought process is zero. I hate to think what Lady Baby goes through on a day-to-day basis, because you have to think of poor Lady Baby. And let's have a sob story for a minute. This woman who can't work for ill health or what other reason she has to hear about all these terrible orders, has to hear about these terrible people, have to hear about this terrible economy we live in and how it's just not giving him a break, when he's not trying to work the system to his own benefit. I wouldn't drive in the snow, mind you. We live at the bottom of a steep hill and it's difficult to get up in the dry, let alone the snow. Half the time, Eli won't drive to an area on a sunny day because it's built up, it's busy. He hates delivering to millennials. If you're a millennial person and he's delivered to you before and you don't tip him, he'll refuse to deliver to you again. He said it himself. He doesn't like certain areas, if you want to call them bronc areas or less well-off areas. He's only interested in delivering up to, I think he said, 1 mile or 2 miles max from his house at no less than $3 a mile. And he doesn't want to deliver anything but food. So he doesn't want to do Dashmart. He doesn't want to do the prescription service. He didn't want to do the alcohol. He just wanted to deliver Chipotle for the rest of his life, basically. And he didn't want to go more than 2 miles because the cost of his premium gas or petrol or whatever the fuck he has. Gordo said it's difficult to get it up. Ha ha ha. It is difficult to get it up. And in Eli's case, it's difficult to get it up, have it stay up, or to have it come back down and go back up again. He would quite happily, if he could earn $21 an hour sitting in a car park doing nothing, I guarantee you he'd sit there all day. He wouldn't leave that car parking space if he didn't have to. And the fact that some of the time he refuses the Dashmart orders, which is the one where you get all the food shopping, he's parked in front of one. You know, it doesn't take 2 brain cells to like rub together to notice. I noticed Co-op are using Uber now. Oh, we have Just Eat around here. I can get orders from Subway, the White Hart. There's a ice cream place near me that's using Just Eat. And there's another pizza place that's using Just Eat. So I can get something. I wish McDonald's was using Just Eat, but they're not currently doing it here where I live. But I can get Subway delivered to my door. I can get a roast dinner from the local pub delivered to my door. I can get ice cream and cookie dough delivered to my door. I have my own theories regarding Eli. Oh, do you? I have a theory that he's nuts. How much you want to bet that Eli is a bad tipper? I bet you he doesn't tip very much. He claims, in brackets, that he tips 20%. I highly doubt it. You cannot tell me that Eli tips 20%. That's his claim. He's a 20% tipper because he values the person that's serving him and that they deserve a tip. You want me to believe that you tip 20%? I doubt it. Raven can rub my last 2 brain cells to give it. Here, let me show you my deck. I'm sure it's a very nice deck, Jack. Come on, Gordo, what's your thoughts? Because Eli doesn't have one. Maybe we can run some sparks together and create an actual life goal for Coach Eli, because at the minute he's going to die in a car park. I think in order to get his allowance from Mummy, he has to be working so he does the bare minimum in order to get his allowance. I would say that Senior Mellis, God rest his soul, who died, probably put some clause in there that for Eli to inherit the estate, he has to contribute to it until his mother dies. Something like that. There's going to be some clause that to take from the estate once his mother dies, he has to have given to the estate and he has to contribute it. It's modest but kind of bulky. Ooh, we like bulky. If you recall, it was September of 2021 and he was bitching on a live stream. Oh, memories. If he didn't get the most financial support from his audience, he couldn't afford to stream all the time. A bit like crying on his birthday. There's definitely a clause in the allowance. That has to be. That he has to be contributing to the estate to then be able to have some of the estate. And then suddenly he stopped bitching about it. I suspect he got Mummy to give him a stipend because of his inheritance. So I'm going to gather that Mummy gave him some money in 2021 and he met Lady Baby in the early years of 2022, where all his money disappeared. Eli also admitted, because somebody outed him from his inner circle, that he doesn't actually pay rent. Because he lives in a house that is owned by Mummy. He doesn't pay rent. He doesn't pay bills. His house is on one of his mum's estates. His mum owns the house. The only thing he's currently paying for is the upkeep on Lady Baby. It's her medical bills. It was the amount to get her to move where he is. She's financially draining him, it's obvious. With Lady Baby, his clause now contains claws. Like, meow. Cat claws, huh? I would say he had a stipend from his mum. And then when he met Lady Baby in the early years of 2022, she bled him dry because of the losing her job, because of having to move. Now she's not well enough to work. He's had to have dipped into his savings, or at least whatever he had. Thing is, Eli is not the brightest. Well, there's a shock. Because that allowance won't last forever, he will burn through it in the way he's going at the moment. Exactly. The house his mum's lived in is divided into a few apartments. So technically, Eli lives with his mother, yet he went after Jamie for Liz, so living with his parents. The thing is, Jamie never shied away from the fact he lived with his parents. He never said he didn't. Up until the fact that Jamie moved out into his own place, he never argued that he lived with his parents. Eli will fight tooth and nail to prove that he doesn't live under his mum's roof, that mummy isn't paying his bills. Light in Theory made no lie the fact that he lived with his mother, that his parents did help him when he moved. He never lied about any of that. He said, yeah, they helped me move, but they don't pay his rent, they don't pay his bills, they just helped him move. Eli will argue until he's blue in the face that mummy doesn't pay his bills and that he's not born with a silver spoon and that Eli has a hard life. And I just cannot believe that for a minute. Eli pays his way through life by having to be Eli. I'd argue that it's quite a steep cost. To be fair, Eli put himself in his own predicament. He makes out, and has done for at least 5 years that I've known him, that he lived in a well-to-do part of the Californian Bay Area, that he had an estate, which he told anybody that would listen to him that his family had an estate. Always gone on about it. Always gone on about that he had premium gas. Always gone on about that he didn't have to struggle for money. And now the times have changed and now he's struggling. He can't afford stuff and he's looking for sympathy. And he's not getting any because we know he's got an estate. We know he had stuff easily. We know he had a good upbringing with money. And now he's finally finding what it's like to live in the real world. And it's a shock to the system, Eli, isn't it, huh? No more silver spoon, huh? Regardless, if he does live on it, on his own, it's not his property, it's mummy's property. Even if, and this is a big if, even if he paid his own bills, he still lives under his mother's property, which is paid for. And even if he does pay his bills, there's no way he's living without an allowance from mummy, because he does not earn enough from YouTube and from door dashing to live. He's made that quite apparent that he cannot live off DoorDash and YouTube alone, which means he's got income elsewhere. And that, my friend, is bank of mum. Has to be. You cannot tell me that on the £150 he gets on a day of door dashing, that's his life. And he doesn't get donations on YouTube. I've made $50 tonight. I made $100 last night. Yes, it's not much, but I do have a job aside from YouTube. I make more in a week than Eli does door dashing at the job I have. I've just had a pay rise. I've just had a promotion, and I guarantee you I earn more than Eli does. And I do twice as much work as Eli does. That he makes $100K a year from residual on insurance plans, which was a lie. He doesn't even know what $100K looks like. I have a great idea for a cartoon, but Jamie won't make it. You fast forward 25 years and all the characters live together in a nursing home. Jamie, J-Bay, and Eli, of course, and the rest. Oh, that would be fun. Eli is still working YouTube, waiting to go viral. The thing is, how do you go viral if you don't load any content? He hadn't streamed for a month. He couldn't find an hour in his busy schedule to stream. He hasn't put a video out in a week. I put 4 videos out a day, and you know why? Because you have to keep your presence up, your ad revenue, your watch time, your subscribers. They want to be a part of your life, your channel, your existence, and you've got to put videos out every day. You just have to on YouTube. If not, and you don't put videos out every day, or you don't live stream every day, and like he hadn't live streamed for a month. And did anybody care he hadn't live streamed for a month? No one cared. There was barely anybody at his live stream. Does anybody care that he hasn't loaded a video for 9 days on his other channel? No one cares. No one would miss him if he disappeared off the face of YouTube. He's irrelevant. If you wanted to make YouTube a financial prospect, you need to put videos out every day. You need to engage with your audience. You need to keep them informed. And he doesn't do any of it. He couldn't even do a community post when he cancelled his previous stream. He just doesn't care about people. He doesn't care about his subscribers. He doesn't care about anybody. He resents his father and brother total Oedipus complex for his mummy. I think he's always been jealous of his brother. And I think he was overshadowed by his brother. And he's always wanted mummy's attention. He never got it. I have a great idea for a cartoon with Lady Baby based on Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. Oh. And I don't mean that in the UK way. I'm just saying she's that old. Ooh. Did I miss something? Did I miss a comment from Red Paul Jack? Hang on. That he makes 100k a year. Yeah, I don't believe he made 100k a year. Not for a minute. Do not believe he made 100k. But amazingly well preserved. Yeah, she's like the fucking mummy. She gave Tutankhamun a run for his money. I don't know. It's clear to me that he cannot be living off door dashing and YouTube. He cannot be. He has to have some other residual income from Bank of Mum to afford to live, because like he said, DoorDash doesn't pay well, YouTube doesn't pay well, Lady Baby isn't working, so where's the money coming from? He also said he wasn't doing his insurance stuff, so it's not that. He closed down his Genuine Network Association. That's not giving him money. So unless he's got money in some stocks and shares or some dividend, he's got to be living off Bank of Mum. He must have an allowance. And if you are 47 years old, which is I think how old he is now, or 48, and you have an allowance from mummy to live off, you've got more issues than you think. Because I am 39 this year, and I've never had a penny from my parents. I disagree. I think Eli's got mummy attention because he needed it and commanded it. Like, give me money. If only I could do that and people would donate. Give me money. There has to be something other than DoorDash and YouTube. There has to be. I have multiple incomes. I've never shied away from the fact that I do Vinted. I sell on Facebook Marketplace. I work. I get donations from YouTube. I have multiple incomes because I am a single person that if bills don't get paid, I don't have anybody to fall back on apart from myself. So I have to hustle and make money. Yeah, he's 49, I think. I'm 39 this year. I'm 10 years behind Eli, would you believe it? And I haven't had to live off my mum's coattails. This isn't my mum's flat. It's mine. My bills are mine. Mummy doesn't pay for my bills. I don't even see my mum. Eli was born in 73. He's 49. Well, you know more about Eli than I do. I try to know as less about Eli as possible. Because once you go down that rabbit hole, it's a very slippery slope. It's a very sad little life that he leads. Very sad little life. And I don't envy him at all. This whole, it's the green, it's California. We live in the most expensive place on earth. I don't give two shits, Eli. He's 50 this year. Oh, dear God. Can you imagine the whining that'll go on in that live stream? 50 and whining like a child. Can't wait for it. Eli's 50th restream will be the restream of the century. I will put my channel at risk from being struck just to restream his 50th live stream. I will risk my entire channel just for the fact of getting him on a live stream, bitching and moaning about him being 50. Cannot wait. That is the live stream of all live streams. That will go down in history, that one. Someday he might grow up and go through puberty. The hair is a lost cause, though. It is. That balding head, oh, it just does not do it for any woman. You're 54 next birthday. Well, that's okay because you bought a Jag as a midlife crisis, Gordo. You're one of these people that had a midlife crisis slightly early and you bought a Jag. Me and Eli have almost the same birthday, exactly 10 years apart, and while he is older than me, I'm still his elder. I think we can all safely say that Eli may be 49 years old, but we are all wiser than him. I've outlived Eli in every respect of life, financial prospects. I've beat Eli in everything. You know, I've had a recent promotion. I've had a recent elevation in my earnings. I have a family. Okay, I don't have a partner in the minute, but judging by Lady Baby, probably glad I'm single. Eli is 49 going on 19. I don't even think he's 19. I honestly believe he has the brain mentality of a 10-year-old because only a 10-year-old would have demanded £20 to not finish their live stream. Can you imagine me sitting here going, right, you've got 10 minutes to donate £20 or I'm cutting the live stream off? Who would donate £20 to keep it going? No one donated to Eli to keep his live stream going. If I threatened to drop the live stream if you didn't donate £20, would somebody donate? Or would somebody think, Jesus Christ, that Raven's acting like a child? Because I could just say, yeah, that's it. $20 or the live stream goes. I'm not working for free. I could be like Eli. And you know what? To be fair, someone would probably donate $20 to stop me leaving. You know, compared to Eli, I could get a man to donate $20 to keep me on camera. He couldn't get anybody in an entire live stream to donate to him. 49 going on 5 years, you mean, Joe? I think he's probably got the brain mentality of a 10-year-old. We're saying 10. I think he would throw the toys out of his pram if he does not get some good donations on his 50th. But then again, he doesn't have a very strong audience to donate to him. Speaking of donations, do you remember how he was making the best donations of his YouTube career in November and early December, and then he flipped out on his birthday? Some random person literally donated about £500 to Eli. I don't know who they are, but whoever donated to Eli £500 throughout November and December, consider me for a donation. Instead of being content things were moving in the right direction, it wasn't good enough for him. No. Because then someone gave him, was it $2? And he bitched for an entire stream about it. If someone wanted to send me $500 in November and December, I would have took it in a heartbeat. I would have been grateful. And then if someone had given me $5 the next day, I would have been heartfelt too. You know, I beat Eli the way his father should have. Mercilessly. Crack that whip, Jack. But I'm grateful for every donation. Like I said earlier, when Dragon donated $50, it touched me in the heart. It really does. I'm grateful for everything. Bodacious donated $2. Was it day before yesterday? Then Dragon donated not once but twice 2 other 50 separate dollar donations. I wouldn't care if you donated £1 to my channel. I'm grateful for every penny. But to have $500 donated to you and then be like, oh, well, $2 is bugger all. You're just making fun now. Like, do us a favor, Eli. Take your head out of your ass and realize that you had $500 that week and then this person gave you $2. consider the fact that this person had already given you their allowance and that they don't have Bank of Mum to fall on. 13-year-old tops. Yeah, he's got to be a moody ass teenager. But then again, this is Eli. He was brought up with the silver spoon and everything handed to him on a plate. And yes, mummy, no mummy, 3 bags full. He hasn't had to strive for anything. He hasn't had to work a 30, 40, 60-hour week to get money. And I've done 60 hours a week before. I worked in a care home. I worked 60 plus hours a week for shit pay. I kid you not, shit money. Why? Because I had to put food on the table. I had to make money. I had to make an income. It's called being an adult. It's being mature and it's being responsible. Exactly what his lady baby's name is. Respectfully, professionally, and maturely. All 3 things that he has never been. He's never been professional. He's never been respectful, and he's definitely not been mature. There's some truth bombs for you. But in all fairness, going back to the topic of the hour, this isn't a sob story. Eli's life was a sob story. Mine is real life. Eli's is a ploy on your heartstrings to feel sorry for him that he's working really hard and that DoorDash isn't working and Lady Baby can't work and things are financially struggling and we should all feel sorry for him. But I don't feel anything. I don't feel pity. I don't care that he's struggling. I just don't care. Is Lady Baby advertising the fact she's a hoe? Well, I don't necessarily know if she's a hoe. She would probably make more money being a hoe than Eli would make doing DoorDash. Professionally sounds like a hoe to me. Do you know if she was whoring herself out, she would probably make more than Eli does DoorDashing. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to make more touched in the heart. Well, I guess that's fine too. Not too exciting, but fine. Aww. Lady Baby admitted to being a swinger with her ex-husband. Well, there's nothing wrong with extracurricular activities in the boudoir. You never know. Maybe she was being paid for it. Maybe she could go back to being a swinger and get paid for it. Can you imagine Eli swinging? Oh, that is something you cannot unsee. I mean, if Lady Baby could make money, whether it's porn, swinging, maybe she could be a cougar. How about a sugar mama? OnlyFans. There's ways of making money. Even sitting at home on your ass, you can make money. Believe me, I've made money this evening and all I've done is sit here. It doesn't take a lot to get a man to open his pockets. Whether it's, I'd argue that existing trapped as Eli inside of Eli's mind and body, he's a 24/7, 365 job. I would say the coach is going to strike this video for sure. Oh, let him. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't care that Eli's a big whiny baby or I wouldn't be remonetized. Fancy that, Eli. If they cared so much about Eli's complaint against my channel, I wouldn't be remonetized within 4 weeks, would I now? My channel is thriving. I've got over 600,000 views. I got 2.8k followers. I got thousands of videos. I'm even growing on Facebook Reels. I'm trying to get monetized on there as well. I've now started a podcast. If you haven't seen, there is a podcast episode 1 called It's Not All Doom and Gloom. It's my new podcast. If you haven't seen episode 1, it's already loaded, and episode 2 is coming on Sunday. Maybe Eli could podcast. Mine's called It's Not All Doom and Gloom. It's my new podcast series that I've started on my channel. Because you know why? Because I need the watch time, I need the hours, and you never know, it might bring some more followers to my channel. She's definitely a floozy. Well, I would say I've been a floozy in my time, but it does pay well. You do what you've got to do for money. If you have to whore yourself out, I'm sure California has some really rich, deep pockets out there. Just saying. I guess there's some chads out there. She wasn't getting paid and won't get paid for it. She puts it out for free. I mean, come on, she's with Eli. I mean, just because she's with Eli doesn't mean she doesn't have any prospects. I guess maybe she's just settled. Definitely do what you got to do for money. Define do what you got to do for money, please. I mean, if you have to whore yourself out on a street corner, sell feet pics, do OnlyFans, you do what you have to do for money. Eli sits in a car for 3 hours watching YouTube videos of us making no money. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do to make money. You know, I made money by sitting here in the comfort of my own home, and he can't make money sitting in the comfort of his own car. She settled for the booby prize with Eli. I think maybe she just set her sights really low, or Eli made it sound like he had money, a rich life, a good house, and he catfished her with what he supposedly had, and what he actually has is nothing. Maybe he catfished her. Maybe he told her he had an estate, he had money, he had a nice house, he lived in a good area, and now he's broke. They're living under the house of mummy. The estate only becomes his when she dies, and he catfished her. And because he catfished her, she's now stuck. Where is she going to go? She has no money, no income, no support, no job, no friends, no family. He's catfished her into an unwinnable situation. She's stuck. Simple as. I do in some way feel sorry for her. If she had have listened to me when I said ages ago that Eli was a lost cause, that the YouTube stuff didn't work, and that he's basically a failure in everything he's ever done, maybe she would have listened. But it's fine because she's made her bed and apparently they're comfortable living like this. I personally, if my man was door dashing, I would expect money, time, and effort to go into it. Not bitching in a car, complaining for 3 hours that no one's giving him any orders when he's declined 30 in the last 3 hours. Like, give me a break, Eli. If you wanted to work, you do what you got to do for money. If that's selling feet pics, if that's going door to door selling shit, if you have to whore yourself out on OnlyFans, or you have to stream 8 hours a day, if you needed money, you would do whatever it takes, no matter how much it would degrade you, how much you would be embarrassed. I'm sure there's not a large market for near 50-year-old prostitutes and OnlyFans cam hosts. You'd be surprised. I guarantee you, if you go on OnlyFans, you will find some 50-year-old catfishing cougars on there. That's a new breed of women, catfishing cougars. You go on OnlyFans, I guarantee you there are women in their late 40s and 50s in bikinis and skimpy wear, quite happy to catfish you for your money. I guarantee it. Because that's the age that we live in. Whether you're a man or a woman, you have to hustle. A new breed of women is called stale bread. Ah. I mean, I consider myself in my prime. I'm literally only 39 this year. I'm currently 38. And I don't turn 40 until next year. And I like to think that I'm in my prime-ish. I mean, instead of stuffing his crotch with a rolled up sock, he stuffed it in his back right pocket. His wallet fished her. I mean, it is quite possible that he promised her this lavish lifestyle of going away and having money and fancy dinners, and the same thing he did to the vet woman, where he tried to woo her and he tried to woo Dana. And I think his technique is just, he likes to flash the cash. That's what it is. He's a flash in the cash type of person. It's the only way he feels he can get a woman is projecting this masculine, dominant, I've got money, I live in a fancy place, I have a fancy car, I put premium gas in, look at me. He wants to feel like an alpha male who can dominate women because he has money and cars and all this, and he has nothing to offer a woman. He doesn't have a house. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't have the lifestyle. I will give Eli a compliment. He did hustle and work to pay off whatever debt he or she got into. But what is to say that the estate and bank of mum didn't help him? I do not believe that Eli cleared 100k of that debt by himself. Do not believe it for 1 second that his mother did not have something to do with it. Or the fact that he was siphoning money, wasn't it, from his brother's something or other? He has some underhanded shady shit that he made money from, or at least attempted to make money from. Eli has no clean bill of conscience, I tell you. I guarantee you Bank of Mum helped him. Which is why he believes he can do whatever he wants. Check it out. The one problem with that is it would actually require going on to OnlyFans. There is that. But I guarantee you there are OnlyFans women who are catfishing cougars. Guarantee you. I mean, you can do OnlyFans from your own house. You could literally sit in your bedroom and do OnlyFans and make a bunch of money from it. I've been told lots of times I should do an OnlyFans. But I have some morals to degrading myself for money, even to that level. As cute as I am and as hot as I do look in a swimming costume and lingerie and all of that, I don't know if I could lower myself to that extent, even at the fact that it would make me money. She has fancy delivered by him. Yeah. Here is your fancy dinner, darling, from Chipotle. Oh my God. I guarantee you their dinner every night comes from where he works, whether it's Chipotle, a Wendy's, Chick-fil-A on tap every evening. Probably even take her to fucking Taco Bell. You know, really, really fancy dinner. Yeah. Taco Bell and Chipotle. Oh, the luxury. DoorDash is his own orders. Bet he doesn't tip himself. I bet she wouldn't give him a tip. If I gave Eli a tip, it would be don't give up your day job. Although your day job doesn't seem to be payoff. So maybe just give that up. Give up live streaming. Give up coaching. Maybe just give up entirely and just move into an entirely different area. Because you don't seem to be thriving in any of them. I mean, just saying. Not being fussy or anything, Eli, in your like grand scheme of life, but I think things aren't going quite the way you planned. And I think Lady Baby is sensing that. I think she can sense a change, that this door dashing isn't working. And that you moving in together financially probably wasn't the best idea. He probably didn't like the fact he had to travel an hour to get to her house. And obviously he doesn't like driving and he doesn't like rain. So, you know, had they have not moved in together, maybe he would have got sick of driving. He embezzled money through his brother's credentials from an insurance firm that was friends of the family. Yet, probably to pay off the vet bill from the 150K, was it, that he owed? Yeah. He's a very sneaky little devil. In my eyes, Eli is willing to beg, borrow, and steal to get money. He's a very shady character. His brother had to hand over his personal clientele list to prevent Eli being prosecuted and possibly himself being dragged into it. No, he filed bankruptcy for the naughty vet expenses. Ooh. So he filed bankruptcy. I know he's had 2 bankruptcies. I'm surprised he hasn't filed a 3rd one. I guarantee you he's probably got debts coming out of the yin-yang. And especially with Lady Baby now, I doubt his financial prospects are any good. It's a very poor situation that life has come to for Eli. He'd love to believe that he lives in this amazing area and everything's golden there. It doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound a life like I would aspire to. If anything, it sounds more like a life I would loathe. But that's just me. I wouldn't expect Eli to have debt. He had been a single man with ultra low expenses, but maybe I'm not seeing what you see. I don't know. I just expect him to have debt now. Not necessarily his own, but he does class Lady Baby as an added expenditure to him now. So I guess whatever his debt is would be her debt and vice versa, because they're like a couple. So I kind of guarantee that Lady Baby's got some debts and that he's trying to be the alpha male and help her with them, and he just doesn't have the money to. He had money to substantiate his own bills, but I do not believe that with Lady Baby not working, he can financially do it for both of them. Whether it's his debt or her debts or a combination, from the sound of his live streams and the sound of his tone of his voice, they're struggling. And whether it's because they're now together or whether they were still struggling when they were apart, it's not working for them. And he's made that quite clear that they're not exactly well off currently and they're paying unexpected bills, which can only mean one thing, that when Lady Baby came with him, she brought baggage. And now he's trying as the man to foot the bill because Lady Baby cannot work, remember. So he's trying to do the doting man thing of helping her, because I'm in the inner circle of the deep core of the sanctum of Dramasphere shakers and string pullers. Ooh, it's the deepest ring of fuckery. I mean, Jack has been to some shady, dark crevices of YouTube. That sounds exhausting. It sounds interesting, but it also sounds a bit creepy and a bit dark. And I like creepy and dark, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the whole fucking with people's real life sanctum part of the Dramasphere. The stuff with fucking Skady is fucking nuts. And the shit that goes on with like Skady and all those other people, and Brutally Lauren and ODN and all those other dumb fucks over there is just too much for me. It's too much stupidity in one fucking live stream to comprehend, you know. I see a long distance romance available for Jack P. Jack's a good boy. Jack's funny, he's entertaining. Thankfully, it just takes nudges to snowball into an avalanche. It does. It does. Nowadays, you can say one thing on YouTube like Skady did, and a whole fucking shit show's come out of it. You know, Skady and ODN and Brutally Lauren, they hate Tammy, they hate Lycan Theory, they hate Susie, they hate Drama After Dark, and all because what? Skady couldn't keep her mouth fucking shut. And she couldn't just fuck off like they told her to. And now you got fucking JT against her. She's trying to go against JT. There's a back and forth. It's a complete shit show. And all it took was one thing, and that was just for Skady not to fuck off and leave people alone. Poking her nose into where shit isn't wanted. And it turns into this great big fucking, like you said, a snowball. And now it's just full-on fucking dramasphere wars. Everyone's backstabbing and, you know. Speaking of all this drama, how many times does Jamie have to reboot Jessica and Tiffany? Honestly, I haven't been over to Jamie's for a while. Because the Tiffany shit, I think she's batshit crazy. I think she's crazy. Jessica, I don't know much about. I guess you mean Granny's Watching. That's Jessica, right? Honestly, Jamie has some questionable taste in women. He seems to date batshit crazy women. No pun intended. Jessica or Granny's Watching is crazy. Tiffany seems to be off her rocker. Skady wanted to date him and she seems nuts. I find the easy thing is not get involved. I just leave them to it. My point exactly. They're all fucking crazy. My heart is on vacation, Joe. It said it was going for a pack of cigarettes in 2020 and still hasn't returned. I'm content eating your KFC and using your DP. Oh, poor Jack. I can't be dealing with all their shit. I really can't. You know, Granny's Watching wanted to date Lycan and then she turned into a psycho. Tiffany dated Lycan and then she turned into a psycho. Skady is still butthurt that Jamie didn't want her and she's crazy. Lauren, apparently, Brutally Lauren fancied Jamie. And now she's a nut job too. I mean, I don't know what he does to these women, but they're all nut jobs. And definitely they only take half a poke to set off. Yeah, they're all fucking crazy. I mean, Skady was interested in JT, and then when shit hit the fan, she's now fucking, she hates JT with a passion. She literally just, you know, she's just crazy. They all are. Tiffany's crazy, Granny's Watching is crazy, Skady's fucking crazy, the whole fucking lot of them. If you don't speak on them, you don't get dragged into it. Simple, really. Yeah. I love Jamie. Don't get me wrong. I love Jamie's channel and everything. But when he's dealing with crazy women like Granny's Watching and Skady and all of that shit show, it's just too much for me. The backwards and forward, the name calling, the threatening to go real life. And now you got people like Riley Jones coming back on the scene. Like, fucking dinosaurs fucking re-erecting. I mean, you got people fighting with fucking Riley now. I mean, the biggest schizophrenic fucking loser on fucking YouTube. You know, and Riley's trying to go at people now. Like, and ODN, he's fucking crazy. If only we had some way to shine a light on Tiffany's craziness. I think we should shine the light on the whole dramasphere being one great big mad fucking shit show. You know, Lauren's crazy. ODN he's got some fucking issues. Riley's crazy. He's got some fucking issues, I tell you. Riley is another level of fucking crazy. They all are batshit crazy. And you know what? They can stay over there and they're part of the drama set. And I'm just going to sit here at home and just watch the shit show from afar. I don't get involved in that. I don't like Riley. I don't like ODN. But I'm not going to start backwards and forwards with them because they're not worth my time. They are small fry on a blimp of YouTube. You know, they stay in their weird, lonely ass corner and I'll stay in mine. Not interested in it. You know, the stuff that Riley said about Gemma, he really deserves to burn in hell. Skady routinely gets over 50 people in her box. Drama sells. Drama sells, but at what cost? At what cost? What happened to your dignity, Skady? What happened to your fucking morals, huh? Where did they go when drama sells, huh? Skady's new name is apparently Skidmark. Oh, I know about Skidmark. Yeah, I heard about that. Her new name's Skidmark. See, drama doesn't sell. If anything, drama makes you worse. Because you never come out of drama any better than you went in. You can hold your head... Skady, isn't it? Yeah, Skidmark, yeah. You can go into drama holding your head up high. By the way, Skidmark's estranged husband is being interviewed on Susie's channel in like 5 minutes. Is that this evening? Is that this evening? Because, ooh, is it? Let me check to see. Is that on Susie's channel? Oh, Susie's channel. Susie 7979. Hey, Red Door Woman. When is that? Is it? I don't see it. Am I just being blind? Do I not see it? Is it on her community post? If you have a link, Jack, you can put the link. You are actually you actually have a wrench, don't you, Jack? Am I missing something? Hey, Red Door, how are you this evening? We've been live streaming for 2.5 hours because apparently I don't have a live. I don't actually. I don't see it. How does Jack see something I don't? I don't see it. If you've got a link, Jack, you can link it because I don't see a link. Is that on Susie's channel? Is that on her 7979 channel? Because I don't see a link. Is it unlisted or something? You should join my Discord, Jack. You should join my Discord, Jack. That's what you should do. You should come and join Raven's Discord, and then you can link shit constantly. I don't think you're part of my Discord. I know Drama After Dark is part of my Discord. Gordo's part of my Discord. Quite a lot of people are in my Discord. But I don't think Jack is. Joe's in my Discord, I think. I'm sure Buddy's in my Discord. There's quite a few people in my Discord. Gemma's in my Discord. Bodacious is in my Discord. I think I've got 10 people in my Discord, give or take. Embrace the nuttiness. I guess there's that. If Susie's going live, you can put the link because I don't see it personally. Maybe it's just me. I cannot wait to hear what they have to say about her, though. It's a very interesting case. She's like a hospital case waiting to be reviewed, because she definitely got some problems. But that's like with everyone. We're all a bit nutty on YouTube, because that's the only way you cope, is by being slightly nutty. I only see a CP. It might be an unlisted link. Does anybody have a link to it? Jack, do you have a link to it? Do you have a link to it? It might be I don't see it. Maybe members only? Ooh, maybe. Jack, tell us more about it, because I can't find it. If it's members only, I'm quite willing to join a membership for Susie. I like Susie. I just can't find it on my phone. Maybe I'm not seeing it. Maybe I need to look on my actual thing. Maybe it's not actually on my phone. No, I don't see it. Must be me. Maybe it's members only, and I'm not a member. If Jack's got a link, he can put it in the chat, because he's actually got a wrench. I think. I'm sure Jack has a wrench. Jack's a good boy. See, that's why he has a wrench. I'd love to hear what he has to say about her, because I think she's nuts. Personal opinion is she's crazy, you know. I don't see enough. I don't see anything. Anybody else seeing anything? Because I don't see it. Might be me. I don't see it. I don't have anything. Unless Jack does, I can't see anything. If it's members only, I'm not a member. If it's unlisted, put it in the Discord. It's unlisted for a reason. I have no idea. I don't see it. Crazy is a mild description. You know, I'm monetized, so I can't exactly say that she's batshit crazy. Because I might get demonetized, but you get my point, Red Door. She's definitely got some screws loose. That much is true. You know, she can't help being in love with JT and Jamie. It's a condition. I mean, JT and Jamie are men she would love to have, and unfortunately they all turned her down. So, you know, she's obviously heartbroken. She's a very heartbroken woman, and heartbroken women say the horriblest of things, and then apparently can't shut up, and they just run their mouths for a year, you know, verbal diarrhea. And what was it? She was basically a catfish. The pictures that JT showed recently, and like calling her a land whale. If you're going to throw it out, you got to be prepared to take some back. What is that Coach Eli would say? Karma has no deadline. I don't see a link to it. Unless Jack's got one. And he can put it in a Discord somewhere. Jack's not in my Discord, although if you'd like to join my Discord, Jack, I can put a link in and you can join my Discord, because people should join my Discord. We have a lot of fun in there, or I do, even. Gordo's in there with his fancy dog and his fancy jag. Joe Buddy's in there. Drama After Dark's in there. Bodacious is in there. Who else is in my Discord? I got about 10 people in my Discord. I'm just starting to get the Discord thing going. You know, little by little. Jenny, I think, is in there. Jenny's Books and Vlogs. I can't remember if she's in my Discord. I'm not sure. I forget now. But Discord is how I connect with people. because it's easier with my channel to just be in one place. But I don't see a notification or anything, so maybe it's just me. It could be a members only. Do you know what? If I was Susie, I would have made it members only and made some money out of Scaly's misery. Because why the fuck not? After the things she said about them guys, put it to members only and make some money off her ass. That's what I would do. Make it so she would have to buy a membership just to see or be over there. That's what I would do. Or make it unlisted. Really piss her off. Because you'd have to try and find a link. There's ways of being cruel without actually, you know, making it obvious. I'm such a bitch. But I'm only a bitch to people that deserve it, mind you. You know. I'm not just a bitch to anybody. But some people on here, they just deserve it. People like ODN, Riley Jones, Scaly, they're some nasty people. And they get what they deserve, basically. I mean, life's a bitch. Karma comes to you all. But I've been live streaming for 2.5 hours and it's been a really long day. I don't have work tomorrow, luckily. I might be going out tomorrow to film some stuff because I need some content. I'm a bit lacking on the content front, so mama gotta work. But if anybody's got a link to that, please share it in my Discord or something. If you can. I don't see anything for her streaming. It could just be me. I don't see the link anymore. I'm off to bed now, late as all. Well, let's wrap this up. So I've been live for 2.5 hours. I'd like to thank Dragon, especially, for the $50 donation. Thank you to Joe, Red Door Woman, Red Paul Jack. Thank you to Gemma. My son turned up earlier. Katie turned up earlier. And anybody else that came to my live stream and gave me some advice and some laughs. If you want to like and subscribe, and big thumbs up. If you want to donate to the channel, please consider a super chat. Or if you want to get more content behind the scenes that I do, you can also become a member for 99 pence. If anyone ever wants to join my Discord, I can put the link in the chat or I will put it in the description of my videos. I don't know when I'm next live streaming. We will see when Eli next does a video. I was told Susie is doing that next week. Oh, okay. I have no idea. I can't wait to see it though. I'm going to make sure I'm especially up for it whenever she does it. But yeah, like and subscribe. Like I said, if you want to donate or become a member, it all helps me fund my channel because unlike Eli, I don't have a trust fund. I'm not a trust fund baby, so I pay my own bills. And I will see you all very soon. Have a wonderful evening. And if anybody has a link to Susie's thing in the coming week, I would love to be there to support Susie. And I will see you all very soon. Have a good night. Bye, guys.